What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, it's Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is not JC. We have somebody special tonight, the one and only Guthrie, Roy Harford. Thank you.
Nestlemania. It only took 374 episodes, but the ring announcer is finally making his much anticipated debut right here on the Jobber Knocker podcast. The biggest Zoe Stark guy in the industry today. That is confirmed. Dude, thanks for having me.
I am this Josh. Sorry, who the fuck is Josh? JC said to me, he goes, "This is either going to be the best decision you've ever made or the worst decision you've
Well,
ever made."
I think you just lost viewership because people now know that the Zoe Stark guy is on the podcast.
That's true. Their face is going to melt. So I'll be curious to see how this goes on. But thank you for filling in while he's probably getting drunk off mimosas.
Of course.
So anyway, big week of wrestling here that we got to recap. Since you're the guest and I'm Mr. Negative most of the time, I will let you start the shine, always in the shine. And I'm curious what you liked watching this week.
So do you want to start off really big, go big or go home, or do you want to kind of progressively build to
I want to know what you love the best. I want big.
Okay, so let's shoot it over to Friday night on SmackDown. This was definitely my biggest shine of the week, hands down. So, Nestle, you actually had a quote last week on the podcast, and I wrote this down. I wanted to get it right. You said, "I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where we're excited about the bloodline again." And in the heat of the moment when you said that, I 1000% agreed with that. I was like, I'm in accordance with this. It's getting a little stale for me. I don't know what they're going to do to spice things up. But then on Friday night from the University of Kentucky, Jay Uso happened. Nessel, I got to tell you, this guy gave a master class on how to command a microphone from start to finish. It was, I think, the best performance he's done this year. I mean, we got to talk to whoever we're going to talk to try and get the qualifications or to get WWE programming eligible to win an Emmy, because Jay Uso deserves to win an Emmy. Maybe we can talk to our boy JC. I know he's won 2 Emmys. Shout out, got to put our boy over. But Jay Uso was just so masterful on Friday. He has this great uncanny ability to build a moment, and he just builds and builds progressively until he gets to that super satisfying climax, and the climax being on this particular episode, boom, super kick to the face, straight to the tribal cuck. Good luck, good night, see you later, Roman, thanks for coming. That's my biggest shine, dude. It was so good, that whole segment.
So first off, Josh, JC has only won 2 New England Emmys. Let's pump the brakes there.
Still got to put him over.
Regional Emmy. It's funny. I think between Danny, JC, and Ray, there might be enough Emmys to be won by all 3. But I did appreciate the bloodline happening. I laughed at the beginning of the program where Roman Reigns just walked by Kayla and said, "Yo, your girlfriend's here." I just started dying at that.
That was great.
And then throughout the night, go find Jay, all that stuff happened. And then, of course, we get to the end. And all I could think about was, I'm curious from your perspective, because, again, you're a screenwriter. You're more about character development than you probably are about the action of wrestling.
Sure.
What exactly did you think about the whole swerve, bro, where he was like, "I'm here because of the tribal chief," and then he turned around and said, "You out, I'm out too." It seemed like it almost didn't make sense in a way.
Well,
but
what do you mean
it did make sense. So it was weird to me where it was just it's always been, you're the prom king, and you're, I've always had to go after you, and I've always had to listen to Joshua. I've always had to listen to Joshua. And
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
To me, it felt like, again, still an A+ effort. I'm nitpicking here. I'm literally grasping at straws. But sure. I am curious from a dialogue and a character development and maybe a plot hole standpoint. I'm just curious what your thoughts were.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. He was downing him, and then suddenly out of nowhere, "Oh, I'm on your side anyway." It's well, that kind of came out of nowhere. But throughout that entire monologue, or however you want to term it, I knew, because the entire time Jay Uso was facing Jimmy, talking to him face to face, and I'm just his back is to Roman. He's gonna super kick him right in the face. So it was sort of obvious, but it sort of wasn't. But I understand your gripe there. I don't really know what to say in terms of that, but I will say that, hypothetically speaking, let's say you and I are writers, we're in a writer's room, we're spitballing ideas, right? And you tell me, this is how we're going to break up the bloodline. Okay, we're going to have the Usos go their own way, we're going to have Paul, Solo, and Roman go their way. You give me all the bullet points and I say, okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea, but going to be all in the execution, and we got to see how it plays out. I really do still feel like the execution was 1000% there, because Jey Uso is so good about pacing everything he does in the ring, and it didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the delivery and the execution was just there for me, even though what he was saying to Jimmy didn't really kind of translate very well when he decided to team up with him anyway and kick Roman in the face. But
It's just, it was a very cathartic moment. I'm just
yeah.
curious about that entire thing. And then something else, a very small point for me, because I chuckled when I saw this, because I thought of JC immediately, because we've talked about this over and over and over again, which was, there's 3 belts in the presentation now. It's the gold belt and the 2 side belts. So I'm just curious, this is going to continue until,
Yeah.
he loses the championship,
It's like,
which,
what was the point of introducing a new title if he's just going to carry the other 2 around anyway? That was like the biggest eye roll for me. It's like, he's Roman Reigns, so he has to have 3 belts.
right.
Like, so now there's 4 belts because we got the Cody consolation prize on Raw.
Yeah. I love how you are already in the Jabberknocker vernacular. It's
Oh,
it's
of course, dude.
yeah, it's funny. But again, so I guess this is a crucial moment in the bloodline, right? So this is probably, they made the Civil War happen at Money in the Bank. It'll probably be the main event of Money in the Bank. I would be curious to see if we get a teased cash in too.
So you don't think Finn and Seth is going to be the main event?
I don't think so, because I think if Roman Reigns shows up, Roman Reigns is last. That's my thought.
That's a good point.
You can't bet against it at this point, So,
or he kicks off the show.
yeah, he could, but I think the other thing too is he's not defending his championship, and if the Usos somehow beat him in some form or fashion, having the tease cash in would be pretty interesting to me. I mean, it's a good way to get people nervous, oh my God, but it's definitely something that's worth watching, and Money in the Bank's starting to shape up to be a very interesting card.
Oh, I'm excited for it. Like, there's a lot going on there.
Okay. So moving on, do you have anything else Bloodline related, or would you like to move on to the next shine-worthy topic?
That was it for Bloodline. I just wanted to give Jey Uso his flowers, because if that's not the first Emmy he should have won, it's probably the second or third or fourth, but definitely performance/promo of the year for him thus far. So yeah.
Okay, great. I guess the second most important thing that you've loved, what was it?
Do we want to stay on SmackDown, or does it not matter?
Doesn't matter. Choose your own adventure.
It does not matter. Okay, that was heat. I'm just going over my notes real quick. You can go over something if you want real quick.
I'm going to move over to Raw very quickly, because I thought about something. You and I talked about this before we hit record. I think I was going to give there it is. This is the first comment of the night. Jesus, 0 Riz on the program tonight. Thank you, Joe. You old fart. Or is it past your bedtime?
So a funny thing about Riz, when I was listening to the episode last week, and he made fun of you, when JC made fun of you for not knowing what Riz meant, excuse me, I had no idea what the fuck it meant either. So we're both old. Well, when you looked it up and actually read the definition on the podcast, I'm like, thank God, because I didn't know what the fuck it meant.
See, this just makes Joe's point available. He's gonna go, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I should be in this now. But to get to my point, watching Seth Rollins get jumped by Finn Balor, I think, and Finn Balor doing the coup de grace 4 times, beating the stomach, and then after the break coming through and beating him up again. 7 years. I've been waiting 7 years for this.
Yeah.
He ain't winning, but God damn it, is this going to be fun? But I just think that, like, you can say what you want, and I'm almost, I don't want to say it because I feel like Danny Grimwood's going to pop out and call me a size shamer, but Finn Balor has always been seen as a guy that maybe not necessarily the guy because of his stature and stuff like that. But when I watched this on Monday, all I could think about was, God damn it, that was beautiful. And this was like the most serious he's ever been. This is the most serious I've taken him.
Yep.
For a very long time. And it's not like, oh, this is NXT Finn. This is like a legitimate contender Finn. And we haven't seen this, in my opinion, on the main roster for Finn Balor ever. So I was just super pumped for the guy, because Seth Rollins at this point can kind of just, do his hand movements and the crowd will sing with him. And honestly, the best part was, we talked about this last week on the program, which was, it's getting close to that what chant, right? It's getting close to that, like, it's almost a detriment to the show.
I agree.
So when he clubbed them from behind, very nice and gentle, it was like, okay, we're off to the races. Nobody can sing the song. We're getting to our business. So I think they learned their lesson, because going forward, Seth Rollins is going to be the champion, I would think, at least till SummerSlam, if not longer.
One thing I really want to comment on, it was a great way to kick off Raw for sure. I loved the fact that they didn't do the open challenge. I love the is anyone's
That's
talking
just
shit?
Chuck.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I loved the fact that they didn't do the open challenge. I think Finn even said it's canceled, and it made as soon as that happened, it made the match with Finn and Seth happening at Money in the Bank feel more meaningful because it's the showcase and the spotlight is on those two. It's not filled with distractions. It was a head scratcher for me. Like I'm like, why is he doing two open challenges back to back nights when we know he's facing Finn at Money in the Bank? So it made it feel more meaningful. I'm glad they kicked off Raw with a bang like that. And Finn was just like, it's canceled. It's all about me.
So to Joe's point and your point, yes, it was great the mocking of the whole thing and interrupting the chant. But I do want to get back to your point, which was he's doing an open challenge against Braun Breaker still.
Right.
Which is tonight. Make sure you check out jobberknocker.com because TJ does a great write up there. That's why he can't, come and make fun of us tonight. But my thought is like, does it take away from you going like, oh, this is an appointment television for NXT because you kind of know that Money in the Bank is Finn and Seth, or are you just like, nah, I want to see it happen?
Honestly, dude, what if Braun Breaker wins tonight in a huge swerve? This is the way he gets called up to the main roster, and they make it a triple threat at Money in the Bank. Is that feasible to you, or is that like totally outlandish?
See, my thought would be at least trying to create continuity here. And
Okay.
I don't think Braun Breaker's ready. This badass character, this heel character in NXT, is almost ready.
Yep.
But presenting him as the champion right away would be, I think, a bad for him because then you can't go up
Too soon.
Yeah, and so for
Okay.
me, I would hope and pray that now you get a double dip here, and you get Seth Rollins and Braun, and then of course Finn comes down and breaks it up, and then they're like, oh my god, Finn's here too. So that way Finn can still keep his no one's touching him until I get him mantra,
True.
and then Braun doesn't look like shit for losing. So I think that would be my thought. I don't
And it definitely
necessarily.
boosts the ratings for NXT having Finn and Seth down there. So
Yeah. Oh, your boy's here. Here he is, Ray, saying Guthrie shit take number one. What if Braun beats Seth? He can't even spell Seth. He can't even spell Seth correctly.
he's too flustered. He's typing way too fast.
So for those that you don't know, Ray and Guthrie are very close friends, and they go back and forth with each other mostly through fantasy baseball. Excuse me. But I was told by Ray that he is going to be in this chat just to upset Guthrie. So
Friends is being generous about it, but we'll go with it for now.
All right. So again, a very great job for Finn and Seth on that one. What else did you enjoy on this week?
Okay, so I know you're probably going to roll your eyes, but we're going to go over back to SmackDown. I do want to talk about it, and I actually really want to get your opinion on it because I know you friggin' hate the man on a week-to-week basis. Karrion Kross, I know it was a jobber alert, but Karrion Kross defeating AJ Styles with a brand new finisher was shine for me. I feel like it's a step in the right direction. I feel like his booking has been absolute trash. I'm a big Karrion Kross guy, but they haven't given us a lot to chew on or a lot on the bone, however you want to term it. The feud with Drew McIntyre, it's like, why were they fighting? The one-off with Rey Mysterio, the one-off with Shinsuke, like, why is he calling out these people, blah, blah, blah. But now, the whole thing with AJ, so Scarlett presented the card, we got a match, but now we got another match, and now Karrion Kross gets the big win with this awesome new finisher. And there it is. Yeah, shocker. I want to know what your thoughts on this are. Like, what do you like his finisher? Do you feel like this is a step in the right direction for him? Do you feel like it's going to turn into anything at all?
So, full no pun intended. Cards on the table here. When I saw it, I went, "Oh look, JC." I tune in for Karrion Kross talk. Shake my head. So there you go. He's a little too. He's not too drunk.
Not yet.
So I got to be honest with you. I just think he's a fucking snooze fest. I really do.
Yep.
I don't necessarily agree with your points. I do like the finish, and I was like, holy shit, a finish I can believe in. And then this pissed me off beyond belief because again, it happens. But some guy on Twitter was like, I invented this move. He stole it from me, and I was like, of course
I missed
he
this.
fucking. I was like, yeah, I'll have to find the tweet. And he was like, he just fucking stole it from me. And I'm like, oh, of course. Now I have to fucking hate this too. He fucking stole some poor guy's finish on the indies.
Oh,
I was like, Jesus Christ. This guy has literally no, it's like he can't get out of his own way.
What would you call that move though? Like, It was a very unique. What would you call it?
It was unnecessary, is what it was, if I can be honest. Because he fucking power slam, he like picked him up in a pump handle to put him in a
Yes.
fucking thing, and then he fucking flapjacked F5 them or something. It was bizarre.
It was like, yeah, a pump handle inverted F5. Is that like the best way to describe it?
I mean, the only thing I could think of was like, what can you call it? Like, it was cool, but my thought was like,
It was different.
It was different. Here's my thought process, right? Like, if you're comparing it to the F5, it's like Brock picks you up, you got nowhere to fucking go, and your pizza. This one was like, I'm fumbling around in the dark, I got you up, and then it looks cool. It's like, if he can stop from the fucking, if he didn't have to pump handle him, and he just did the fucking grabbed him and then pizzaed him, I'd be okay.
Okay.
But I think it's like watching. I'm not watching. It's like when you're like trying to take a bra off, you know, and you're fumbling. Like, it just feels like he's just like uncertain with it. It does look cool, so I do give you props for that. But I'm like, does that even matter at this point? You know what I mean? Like, does it even like can he overcome all of this? I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it.
The fact that it was a jobber alert on legendary AJ Styles, like it was a clean pin.
So I understand why you're trying to put this in the shine, but here's the
well,
other
shine
thing.
For me personally,
right? And again, this is going to be all over the goddamn place tonight. So
yeah,
Ray said he's got a big glass of Haterade. They're all asking what you're drinking. So what are you drinking?
Blue Comet by Widowmaker. It's a double IPA.
The only bra fumbling Nestle is on his own. Yes, I practice on a pillow. Is that what you want me to tell you? Is that what you want me to say, Joe? There you go. Guthrie Stark is what they say I should call you. Guthrie Stark.
There it is. There it is. That's the name of the frickin' episode.
That's the name of the episode, of course.
We're trying to figure it out.
But anyway, you do grow better facial hair than me, Guthrie, says Joe Pollock.
I appreciate that, brother. Thanks for putting me over.
So here's the thing that I will say though. As much, and can you give me a 30-second elevator pitch on Karrion Kross and why we should like him? Because I think I will annihilate you after that. But go ahead.
The presentation's there. He's got the girl. He's got entrance music that slaps. The visual is there. I can't sell you on his in-ring if you don't like his in-ring, but I feel so spooky / supernatural gimmicks are a hard sell. They really are. They're always going to come off as a little campy, maybe a little corny. It was hard. It's hard for Bray Wyatt. Like, you have to be able to buy into that. Okay. And it's not the easiest thing to buy into. But I feel like the guy cuts good promos. I mean, he doesn't flub or stutter. Like, he says it with conviction, but again, you have to be able to buy into that campiness of like the spooky, whatever he's going for. You know what I mean? So again, the presentation's there, but I don't really know what else to say about it.
So I'm not going to eviscerate you on this, but I would just like to say, when I watch him, the only thing that goes through my mind is what John Cena said about Austin Theory, which was, I don't believe a word you're saying.
Okay.
And I think that's the hardest part for me is like, he could do it.
Yeah.
Right. And he did it in Impact. He did it in AAA Lucha style. He did it in Lucha Underground. He did a great job. But for some reason, after NXT, it was just like we've talked about on this program, everybody's just looking at him like he's on a poster. He looks good. He's clearly got, the girl, but
I will agree with you. He needs to cut that gorgeous head of hair. It's not working. He's more menacing and more villainous when he's bald.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say it's just, he just looks less crazy. And I think he needs to be crazy, but like, I think the thing is like, this isn't fair assessment, but this is how I feel. Okay. Ever since he won the championship and broke his collarbone, to me, he's soft. And I think watching his wrestling style, SAWFT, soft. Like, that's just when we've talked about Kushida, was it Kushida being the human sleeping bag? This guy is close to being
from NXT.
This is close to me. Like, when I see this, I go, this is it. Like, but I do like the finish. I'm hoping that he does something different. I would say that Scarlett to me is the key. If she's presented in a better, to me, like instead of slapping the mat and spraying fucking red shit and doing the card, like to me, she's not being used to her full potential. I think if people could gravitate to her, because I feel like she's covered up a lot too, which is ridiculous. So I just feel like they're kind of not letting her be her. So I feel like she's part of the presentation. And I think that's what they're like neutering the package.
She needs to do more. Yeah.
So I think that's it. Yeah. There you go. I just cringed Joe with my Enzo. I'm not going to do the shuffle or anything, Joe. Don't worry about it. Hashtag save us JC. Is it really that bad? Is it really that bad?
Oh,
Wow.
he's just mad because I'm talking about all my favorites that you guys you normally trash. So Nestle, real quick before we end the carrying cross thing, did you like Sean O'Hare back in the day?
I liked Sean O'Hara when he did the I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know.
You thought those promos were good.
Yes.
I
See,
don't
this is
feel
where
like
this
I
is
don't
where
feel
you
like
and I are
carrying
gonna
cross
differ.
is any different than him in
You know
terms
what
of
it
like
is?
in terms of delivery.
Here's the thing. He's a better in-ring competitor than Cross was. So that's why I think I was able to forgive that. And Roddy Piper was part of that at the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay. All
And
right.
I
I
love
see what
Roddy Piper. So I think that
that's
was
fine.
probably one of those things. But again, I'm trying to remember how far back that was.
It
But
was a 2003.
Sean O'Hara, the golfer, was better. Thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. From the clouds. You know, I gotta call Joe out. He thinks this is a casting couch next to me. It's not. It's my bed. So it's not a casting
I
couch.
don't
It's
even
not a
see
futon.
anything besides like a bunch of posters in the back or like
Yeah. Well,
framed.
so my room, my bedroom is might as well be a storage facility for my wife and I. So I literally this is like the cleanest corner I can have. Otherwise, you'd see a fucking mess back there. So
Yeah,
that's why I do what I do.
that's a hot
But
take, Joe. I don't know if I agree with that, but
what was it? I loved O'Hara. Piper killed that gimmick.
I don't know if Piper. That's come on, that's harsh.
All right, so moving on, I'm gonna try to save this. The one thing I want to say here, this is something I know everybody but Danny will get behind. I love the Chelsea Green TikTok videos before
I
she
I knew
wrestled
you were
on,
gonna mention that. I knew you were
and
gonna mention it.
and I fucking loved it because here's the thing. She's going into the character. She's all in on it. She's done a great job. And then Samantha Irvin does the fucking Chelsea Green. Like it was
Oh,
hysterical.
how she like announces it like a Valley Girl, like Chelsea Green. I
Yeah.
love that. It's so funny.
Yeah, and but the little things she does, we talked about it last week or the week before. The little things she does is great, but the fact that she could do all those Karen videos is like, this is it. Like, even if she doesn't wrestle, this is how she's going to stay relevant. And
She's leaning into it.
but she's married to the person who knows how to stay relevant in any situation. So, I mean, like this girl,
True.
this woman can absolutely just continue to flourish. And I mean, not that I'm saying Sonya's sandbagging her, but if she ever gets a singles run, which I assume she is because she's relatively young, she's going to be just fine because she can do it all. In my opinion, she can do everything. Not that she's going to be like the face of the company, but I could
Right.
see her being like a one-off Money in the Bank winner, and cashing in and losing like a month later or something like
Sure.
that.
Sure.
So I just think that she did a fantastic job with what she did. And of course, on Raw, she had that quick match, but whatever it is, what it is, she did her job. And, and this is where I'm praying to God that Josh isn't going to laugh at me. Chance and Carter. Did I get it right?
Yes.
All right. I
Yes.
practiced. I practiced for Josh.
Caden Carter and Katana
I
Chance.
can't do it. It just sounds like a fucking tongue tie. I can't do it.
KC squared. KC to the second power. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Whatever I don't know. Anyway, I like that tag team. I like both tag teams. Even Chelsea and Sonya had matching gear. So I just thought that was like, we're in. We're ready to go.
They're making an effort. And I actually had Katana and Caden in my shine as well. I thought it was an excellent showcase for them, especially after losing to I said Sonya, Ronda and Shayna. I thought this was a nice bounce back. They've hit their finisher in both matches, even though they lost in their debut. So I still feel like they're going to be heavily showcased as we move forward. And that was shine for me.
Okay. Anything else that's shine worthy? We don't have to go all night, but
dude, there's not a lot of shine. I mean,
okay.
I get for me, I liked that Ciampa returned. That was cool.
So I think that's a hair scratching kind of moment for me because I like the idea of Ciampa. I think it's because I'm not a Ciampa guy. I can see his purpose and what he's going to do.
Yes.
But for me, it was like, I need more. I need more. I feel like it was weird. It was like, oh, here's the Miz. What do you mean you're mad at me? It's like, they tried really hard on commentary to be like, oh, we didn't call him in 9 months that he was off and whatever.
Right.
But I'm not a huge fan of like where this might go. Now everybody's excited about DIY versus KO and Sammy at SummerSlam. That seems to be the rumor.
Right.
I don't necessarily believe that somebody that isn't a real tag team on the main roster should beat the people who just beat the Usos. In my opinion, I want a real tag team to be KO and Sammy, whether it's Imperium, whether it's Pretty Deadly. Those seem to be the people that I would put my stock in the most, but those people will most likely already have lost in the next week or two. So
it would be nice to get like a real tag team to have the belts again. Pretty Deadly would be like my choice.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to go through my stuff very quickly, just so I make sure I don't miss anything here.
Sure.
So I will say this much. I really, and you might not like this, but this might be a good teeter-totter moment to go right into the heat.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the Grayson Waller effect here.
Oh man. Oh no.
You
That's
didn't
heat
like
for
it?
me. That's heat
Really?
for me. Yeah.
This is going to be interesting.
Yes, that was mega heat for me.
Why?
Oh my god, dude, you liked that?
I did.
Tell me what you liked about it.
All right, well, tell me what. Well,
Oh, you want me to go first?
no. It's fine. I guess they were still in the shine. But here's what I would say about that. So the Grayson Waller thing is like, okay, he's doing the woo with Charlotte. He's trying to do his thing, and then Bianca Belair comes out and says, "I'm not waiting anymore," and she cuts a scathing promo on Charlotte. All I could think about was like, good, because she felt like she was neutered, and I felt like she was kind of fucked in a way
Yeah.
where it was like, you know what I mean? Like it's just bad. But then like at least when I see Charlotte, I think like she's a great villain.
Mhm.
And so I think Bianca Belair needs a great villain to continue because I don't have faith that they have enough nuts to turn Bianca Belair heel. Like I think they think she's John Cena. The kids love her.
Okay.
She's definitely relatable and she's likable, so it's hard to get her to be a heel. I'm not being like she has to do it, God damn it, but I just don't see it happening. But
Okay.
Grayson Waller did a good enough job facilitating the ooh and ah for me
Yep, at the beginning.
at
Yep.
the beginning.
And then
Where
he
it
was
end,
like complete background noise.
where
Yeah.
it ended, it kind of like it did kind of falter at the end. So I think that's where we
Yeah.
can say, get him off my TV, get him off my TV, get him off my TV. And you
Okay.
can go in about what you don't like about this.
So I think the only saving grace to the Grayson Waller effect for me was Bianca Belair. I thought her promo was fantastic. I thought she sounded fantastic, and I think you and I differ. I think the inevitable heel turn is coming, and I fucking can't wait because Bianca Belair is so fucking stale to me. I'm so sick of the skipping and the hair twirling. She's twirling and skipping, and it's too much for me. I don't fucking want it anymore. And I feel like we're going to progressively move into the direction of turning her heel and maybe even have Montez and Angelo Dawkins join her and create like this awesome heel faction. Speaking of which, they fucking lost. They were the first pinfall in that stupid gauntlet / turmoil match. So, it's kind of seems like they're falling off the ledge as baby faces as well, or like even what they want to do with them. So they need to be revamped. So anyway, that was the saving grace for me when it came to Grayson Waller was Bianca Belair. I just want to say first and foremost, I think Grayson Waller is doing a good job. I think he's the second best NXT call up on the main roster. I think they're presenting him in the correct way. How do you like Bianca Belair? What is she? She's so stale, dude.
So here's the
Like
thing.
he likes John Cena, so that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Moving on.
No. Here's the thing. I think what you're missing is that sometimes you want something so badly, it doesn't necessarily think it's good for Guthrie, but it's not necessarily good for the rest of everybody else. Like you don't want to kill the golden goose because honestly, she might be the best baby face they have in general, in my opinion. Like, and I mean like white
The most
hot,
marketable for sure.
marketable.
Yeah.
Like it's like unless you have that person in that NXT factory that can come in and do it,
Yep.
why would you shoot yourself in the foot when you have a proven commodity? I think that's the problem that I would have against your argument, which is
Okay.
like you got to look at it from that standpoint of like yeah, it'd be cool and it'd be good television, but then you fill it like how do you fill that void? Like who on that roster could step up and be a baby face for the WWE? I don't see it. I really don't. Can you think of anybody?
Roxanne Perez when she gets the call up, but we're still a ways off from that point.
She's in the G golly gosh days of her life. When she gets a little bit more, and she started last week in NXT with the Edge, but I think once we're there, that's kind of a point. And Ray did say you just said the best part of the segment was her promo, but she's stale, is what Ray just said to you. So
because it was more heelish than it was babyface.
Okay. I'm telling you what the people are saying. I'm a man.
Yeah, no, I'm reading it. No, I'm responding to him, not you.
No, I know.
I got completely off track here. This is why you fucking piece of shit, Ray. The reason why it was heat for me was because they're already telegraphing Charlotte versus Bianca for SummerSlam, and it's like Asuka just won the title. Is it just me, Nessel, or does it feel like Asuka is already an afterthought? Your thoughts?
I don't necessarily believe Asuka is a champion in general. I think
man.
and I'm not going to say that she's like, JC has always made the argument of Mark Henry. You can be sexual chocolate and then Hall of Fame. Nobody's dead in the water forever. Like there's always a chance somebody can revitalize themselves. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's dead in the water. I do like the clown makeup. I do like the psycho-ness of it all and the mist. And I think that's very cool. However, for me specifically, and again, I'm not the general audience, so my opinion doesn't necessarily matter as the regular audience does. But for me, I look at it like you've already kind of fucked her like 3 times. And like to me, it's like I don't care about her as much anymore. Like when she was in NXT, awesome. When she first showed up, awesome. But then like
Is it a language barrier thing? Do you think that's like a big problem?
No, I don't think so because I think she does a good enough job where she's like crazy and you're just like, what the fuck is she saying? And then you're like, damn, she's fucking good in the ring.
Do you think Io Sky's going to fall into this same trap?
I think Io has a better handle on the language than Asuka, but I also, so full disclosure, I'm an Io honk. I love Io. I think she's a fucking soup and nuts. Like
I love Io Sky.
She's, to me, that might be the only baby face that you could even remotely put in there. But again,
there you go.
But is to your point to backfire on here. Does the language barrier make her not somebody that's marketable to the general masses of the United States of America?
Right.
You don't know. I mean, I think she is, but I don't know. Like, I think Bianca, unfortunately, is just so damn likable and her story is so relatable. And Io Sky may not have a story like that to continue keeping her that strong as a babyface. At least that's my thought process.
She's likable to a younger audience. Point me in the direction of late 20 and 30-year-olds who love Bianca Belair.
But that's not the point, is that the general audience isn't necessarily that age gap. Like
it's all over the place. It's a huge range.
Right. And I'm just saying the kids bring their parents with the disposable income to go buy the Bianca merchandise. Like that's the machine. That's why John Cena, regardless whether you like him or not, was what he was for so long because the kids kept getting the fucking color t-shirts and the fucking wristbands and the goddamn hats.
The Fruity Pebble t-shirts. Yeah, we remember.
I mean, when we start seeing Bianca merchandise that's every fucking color of the rainbow, then we can get upset, I'm sure. But I will defend her because I think she puts on banger matches and I'm
shocked.
But
I'm shocked you're defending her.
I have to because I think that I think I would lose my credibility if I didn't.
I'm done with the twirling. I'm done with the skipping. Give me heel Bianca Belair. Get it on my TV.
All right. Moving on to, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It was very heavy segment-wise on SmackDown, so I feel like I'm just going to go over to Raw. I am curious your thoughts here with like this entire night of, I mean, the main event was a fucking, you could see where it was going, 6-man tag. Obviously, my skin breaks out for these things, but it was weird to me. It was like KO and the Rageaholic stuff, and it's like, I don't have a rage problem, I have an idiot problem. Which
he had like such a great line, and it needs to go on a T-shirt. I don't have an anger problem, I have an idiot problem. Yeah. And dude, they were all over TV on Monday night. It was great the way they were interwoven throughout the show.
The problem I have is like, I feel like it's the same issue that they present him every week. Is what exactly are they doing? They're not a tag team. Like they're not really defending the tag titles. They're just kind of there. And the other thing I would say is they did the whole thing where it's like, oh, sorry, Imperium, we got a text. And I was like, was it the fucking Cody bat signal? You know, it was, and it was, you know what I mean? Like that's what it was. He's Cody's lackeys. And we got the Cody Consolation Championship. We got the Cody lackeys. It's like, this is like the aftermath of the tribal cuck earthquake. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're still hearing the reverberations of this shit. So it bothers me that it's just like, it bothers me to no end. Like it just, I love them, but I don't like them as a tag team. They're this version of them. I don't buy it.
Dude, that's my main problem. They're two singles guys and they're holding the tag team titles hostage. I don't want it anymore. Give it to Pretty Deadly once we get to SmackDown right before Money in the Bank. I want on a legitimate tag team. The fucking Viking Raiders got a legitimate win last night. Like, let's get legitimate tag teams getting wins again. Please, for the love of Christ, get those titles off of the two singles guys.
So you did you brought up Valhalla, so I have to, I mean, JC's going to be mad we didn't put the Maxine Dupree singlet and stiletto in.
Of course he is, because he's only addicted to her looks and not like she doesn't have anything else to offer. So I'm not even going to go into that.
So she hit a suplex, but then they lost the match, which I thought was a good like serendipitous back and forth.
Right.
But the other thing that I thought was really funny was like the Viking Raiders won, it was like, who cares? Like, I think
Right.
that's the problem is like Alpha Academy is doing such a great job that it doesn't matter if they
No
win or
one's gonna
lose.
notice.
Yeah, and I think go ahead.
I can't remember the last time the Viking Raiders got a win on television. I think it was like over a year ago. So I kind of was like, whoa, what just happened? But people are gonna forget about it.
Yeah, because they forget about them because who the hell likes Vikings? No offense. Like, and this is where JC and everybody's gonna pipe in. Oh, we like Vikings from the blah 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 show.
They're toyetic. They make good action figures. That's about it.
JC from the rafters saying Maxine has more personality than Karrion Kross and Zoe Stark combined 5,000
You
times.
know what? That's it. I'm done. Let's talk about personality. This guy wasted absolutely no fucking time last week calling out my girl Zoe Stark and throwing her underneath the fucking bus. He was sitting there. He was gushing. He was gooing. He was gone. He was popping for Becky Lynch's worst take, mind you, of 2023 when she said on primetime television, Zoe Stark, you don't have a personality. You know what, Nestlemania? Let me ask you something, okay? Do you know who's on? Yeah, get those eyes widened. Do you know who's on the Mount Rushmore of fantastic wrestlers who have no personality? I'll give you a hint. It's a JC guy. He's been around for 20 plus years, and he had a match last night on Monday Night Raw. Do you know who it is?
Oh, no. Shelton Benjamin?
Ain't no stopping me, no! That guy cannot cut a promo to save his life. And this is not a knock on Shelton Benjamin, because I like Shelton Benjamin. I was a big Team Angle guy back in the day in 2003 when him and Charlie Haas were tearing it up on Friday nights and making Kurt Angle look like $1 million while he was tribal cucking that title way back then. But you know what? The point I'm trying to make is that all of us marks, and we're all marks, mind you, don't mistake that. All of us marks have at least one wrestler that we love that's fantastic from bell to bell. Mine is Zoe Stark. JC's is Shelton Benjamin. The only difference being Shelton Benjamin couldn't figure the promo out in 20 plus years. Zoe Stark eventually will figure out the promo. She'll nail it. She'll get it down, and it will be undeniable. End rant. Shut up, JC.
That was a gift. So what did he say? He said,
he's got me boned up.
I gotta clip that off. He's got me boned up. If Zoe ever gets a golden dome, she'll be home. She's already blonde. She's already
the gold standard.
Oh my God.
And she can cut a better promo than Shelton ever could.
Shitty take comparing her to Shelton Benjamin. So here's my thought, right? So I'm not trying to be. I'm just devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Because you're gonna get enough shit in the chat. So
absolutely.
I'm not gonna. So. You said, you know who? So basically, you implied that Shelton Benjamin couldn't cut a promo who had no personality. So right. Zoe Stark is in the same category as of right now. Yes?
Correct.
So she does not have any personality, is what you're saying.
She needs to work on her promos. I will 1,000% admit that.
That's not what I asked. Does she have a personality?
She doesn't have a character. So how can you have personality when you don't have a character?
I could think of many ways of having a personality and no character.
Give me an example right now on the main roster. Who has? Give me an example.
Who has
Monday Night Raw?
On Monday Night Raw that has a person.
Who's super generic? Who has a personality? Who doesn't have a gimmick? Are you going to tell me Apollo Crews? Who is it?
Johnny Gargano has personality, no character.
Oh, you're going to put our boy TJ over? Jesus.
I'm just saying, there's people out there who have like amazing personalities that don't have a character.
Okay, Johnny Gargano is better as a heel. I loved the way, so I'll give you that one. Okay, we'll go with that. That's
Austin
fine.
Theory has personality, not really a character. That's on SmackDown. So I think so. That's what I'm saying is like there are levels.
No, I'll give you those. I agree.
So I would just like to state for the record, state's evidence, Exhibit Z for Zoe.
Yep.
She's
Z360.
Yeah, Z360. She's got a killer finish, but a little too much on the finish and not too much on the appetizing. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I would say is you kind of beat yourself into oblivion here by talking into like you talked so passionately that you ended up beating yourself up. I just wanted to let you know.
I still think I made a good point with the Shelton Benjamin not being able to cut a promo in 20 years. He can't do it. Nestle, can he? Yes or no?
I think here's my thing. Shelton Benjamin can cut a promo. Is it going to be great? No. Is it going to be serviceable? Yes.
The most personality he had was when Big Mama was around, or Shelton Benjamin's mama. That was the one time in his career that he had personality. It was because of her. She made him feel special.
Some people are stars and some people are Natalia's tag partner.
She has not once tagged with a Natalia. She's with someone better in Trish Stratus.
So basically, so that's a great segue. Thank you for bringing this up. Trish
Okay.
Stratus, this to me was a fuck you everybody segment. This to me made me so angry. This is, I think, something, hopefully I'm praying that we can all just agree on and move on.
Yep.
Which was Trish Stratus versus Raquel Rodriguez. We had that nice face off with her and
that was good.
Rhea, which was great.
Backstage, that was good.
And then we had the whole thing happen. And Trish Stratus had she at some points in that match, she had flashes of brilliance, taking that fucking clothesline from Raquel, and then just stumbling and bubbling and doing whatever she did. But then the fucking ending made me go, "What the fuck am I watching?"
It was hot poopy garbage.
So for me, it's like she does the fucking disqualification, and she's like, "Oh no, I didn't know what I was doing. It's a fit of rage." And then you make Raquel look like dog shit because she's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." It was like, no, if she's pissed, she should have fucking grabbed Becky by the fucking hair and fucking Tejada bombed her ass through a fucking table.
She just screwed her out of a PLE. She should have been way more pissed.
Right. And I think the other thing was like Becky looks like whoop, 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 whoop. And then like, Trish looks like a fucking like cartoon character out of Roger Rabbit after she loses, and she's just like doing this. And it's just like, and then there's Zoe Stark, no pun intended here. She doesn't really have the personality to do it. It's just like she was the wet blanket too. It was just like all encompassing. All four women were just like, what are we doing here? Like, we're not going to talk about who's going to win and lose these things, but I do believe Ray took the words right out of my mouth. Trish and the Money in the Bank is awesome and the right call. I do agree with Ray on this because
you're kidding.
In my opinion, if I had to guess, I'm not going to say who I pick, but to me, it's narrowed it down to Zoe Stark, Trish Stratus, and Becky Lynch as the winners, because one to me, it's either Zoe Stark holds Becky's leg so Trish can do it, or vice versa. So I would imagine, or somehow Becky overcomes both of them in some form or fashion.
So I thought Zoe Stark was probably the front runner, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a mark for her, but like I thought she was the front runner until Trish qualified, and now I'm just like, now Zoe Stark has no opportunity to win because, and you're saying that she does. That's confusing to me because,
well, what if she wins and gives it to Trish?
Okay, that's believable. That's believable for sure.
That'd be my thought, because it's like a thank you gift.
Right. Thank you, Trish. That's the whole gimmick. Okay, that works. But there's no way that, it's more about Trish. And that whole segment was Schmazola City. I totally agree with you. Like it was so sloppy and so terrible. Becky Lynch is like a fucking Powerpuff Girl. It was so cartoonish, and I don't know. The whole thing. I like Zoe Stark on my television, but the whole thing was so sloppy and disgusting. And I was like, this has to be like the biggest heat of the week, or on Monday Night Raw at least.
Yeah. So JC writes, "Don't sleep on Bayley." Now nobody sleeps on Bayley, but honestly, to me she's the coldest she's ever been.
Shotzi's gonna beat her this Friday and replace her. What do you mean? I'm totally sleeping on Bayley. Really?
I don't know if he knows about that being a thing. So
well, he should.
This show is the product, right? This show is sloppy and disgusting. Well, he might be sloppy and drunk eventually. So
don't JC or me?
No, I'm just making a joke. You might be sloppy from drinking, but you're not.
No, absolutely not.
Selena Vega is going to shock the world. Knock it off. Just knock it off.
Dude, she already had her opportunity at fucking Backlash, and can we segue into Rhea?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Rhea and Natalya, why are we doing this again? So Rhea was backstage talking to the rest of Judgment Day. She's like, you guys have your 6-man tag to go prepare for, and now I got to handle my business with Natalya. What business do you have to handle with Natalya, Rhea? You handled it in 69 seconds at Night of Champions. Why are we doing this? Nestle, I got to ask you, because I've been thinking about this and I want to get your thoughts on it. I know we're only like 2.5, not even 3 months removed from WrestleMania where Rhea won the title against Charlotte, but do you feel like we're kind of dangerously approaching the territory of Rhea tribal cucking that title? Has she had a meaningful feud yet?
So those are two different questions.
Okay.
So for me, I'd say she's not going to hold on to that thing forever. I don't think so.
Okay.
But the other thing is she's been thrown tomato cans since she's won, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I have not seen a believable challenger to Rhea, and then she can say she's dominant. The problem you have is that on her meteoric rise to WrestleMania, she was fucking killing people.
Yeah.
So now it's like, who else does she's a world beater. Who else does she have? Like, she might as well beat up the men,
It's
like
literally been Zelina and Natalya. And Natalya doesn't even count. No, because it was 69 seconds.
Here's the thing. I will never believe Zelina Vega as a champion. I just won't.
Me neither.
And I think that's the part where, Joe and Dom are going to all sort of, get up on me for this. But Zelina's great. She's definitely improved. But again,
Yes.
there are levels to this. To me, Zelina Vega is on the same. This is where someone's going to say, well, you just made the comparison. Zelina Vega to me is the same level as a Trinity Fatu, where she's good.
Okay.
She's athletic. Yeah, Trinity won, 2 championships or whatever. But for me, I don't think Trinity should have won any of those championships. But Zelina Vega definitely doesn't deserve a championship, in my opinion, either, because
I agree.
she's just there are people who make it look like a actual event of wrestling, struggling and fighting, and then there are people out there doing a fucking gymnastic routine. And this is where they're gonna say, "This ain't ballet, Adam." Who the fuck is Adam? But it's just hard for me to watch these people who are just like, I'm running off the ropes and I'm gonna do these fucking cool moves, and it's like she hasn't put it together for me to award her the stamp of approval to say you deserve a championship. She hasn't.
Kind of like a Sol Ruka down in NXT. All the gymnastics, she makes everything look great, but like there's no substance.
I think, but here's the thing: she's in NXT, she'll get there. I think with the right people, she'll get there. She has a bomb finish. Like but if she can hit that finish without fucking killing herself,
the Soul Snatcher, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. The problem is that move to me is one of those you can only hit it out of one place.
Right.
Or in a ladder match, she does like a cool flip off the ladder and stuff like that. But
it has to be the ideal situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not an RKO where you can do it out of anywhere.
Out of anywhere.
That's the hardest
part.
It's
very situational. I agree.
What does it say, Doc? Sorry. Corey Graves called attention to the pick that you couldn't believe it. Oh boy.
What's he talking about?
I have no idea.
Did I miss something?
I have no idea.
What? Okay.
Maybe there's a pick. Maybe there's a pick going around that we don't know about. I'm sure
I'm completely lost.
That's fine. We've lost all sense of organization in this fucking thing.
Well, we've lost all respect too because of what we've been talking about, but that's okay too. I don't give a shit.
Is there anything else that's heat worthy before we move on to your hope?
Heat worthy.
It's fine if you don't. I'm just going to go through some quick jobber alerts very quickly.
I don't think I have anything, Nestle.
All right, so we're going to go to why tag teams don't matter on SmackDown. That was right. The Profits, LWO, and Hit Row, all under 3 minutes or less in a gauntlet. To me, they don't care about tag team wrestling. It is what it is.
Nope.
Io versus Zelina. Again, Zelina, jobber alert. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Cross and Scarlett you talked about. That was a huge deal. Moving on. Sonya and Chelsea, jobber alert, did their job. Hurt Business. Sorry, Josh. In this year. Killing them in 3 minutes or less. Actually, I think it was 2 minutes.
Rough.
Which was rough to watch.
Veer was coming all over him.
It is what it is, man.
Take that, Shelty.
Hey, they do their job well.
I like Shelton Benjamin. It's not a knock.
Yeah. The one thing we didn't really talk about, but we can get into it a little bit later. But their Money in the Bank is very heavy with their competitors, so we should get into that at some point. Okay. But also, I think very quickly, Braun Breaker showed up randomly on fucking Raw to plug NXT. I was just like, whatever. I'm not necessarily
to boost ratings. I get it. Like it felt misplaced, but I get why they did it.
I just feel like if he's there, why didn't he do something to Seth Rollins? It's weird to me.
Agreed.
But whatever.
Agreed. It's illogical.
And then, of course, the Bronson Reed consolation prize for not being in Money in the Bank, as Nakamura and Ricochet seem to have some issue of who's going to beat fucking, Bronson Reed.
I'm telling you, he's going to weasel his way into that match. You watch, Nestle.
I don't know how he can. Like, why would you be stupid? Here's the thing. Why would you be stupid enough with a week away to Money in the Bank being like, I'll put up my fucking spot with at least with
no, they're not going to put it up. He's going to take both of them out. So in the women's Money in the Bank, there's 6 competitors. There's 7 in the men's. Let's eliminate 2 of them and replace them with Bronson Reed.
Are you saying that Bronson Reed is the equivalent of 2 wrestlers? Are you trying to say something, Guthrie?
I mean, Ricochet deserves to be in the match, but like, I don't know. Like,
he's not winning.
He's definitely not winning. Neither is Santos. Neither is Butch. We already have the spot guys. Let's just eliminate one of them and replace him with a cool guy like Bronson Reed. That's all I'm saying.
Bronson Reed need a big guy to catch people. That's what it is.
This is a very nitpicky thing, but why did him and Shinsuke look like a tag team? They had matching gear. Did you notice that?
No.
Their gear looked exactly the same. It was black and silver, black and white, or whatever. I don't know. I
did not pick up on that.
It's okay. That's just me being me.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've talked about negative stuff already. I'm going to say, let's get hopeful. I will let you go first with your hope if you like.
Going to let me go first.
Yeah. You are the guest.
Okay.
You are my only hope. Go ahead.
Okay.
Gear up.
My hope for this week. Maybe this will get me some respect. It probably won't. Who the fuck knows? Who the hell cares? I'm here to be me. Authentically me. My hope, Saturday, July 1st at Money in the Bank in London, England. I hope one man and one man only wins that briefcase. He ascends the ladder. He grabs it. He becomes the next Mr. Money in the Bank, and that is L.A. Knight. And then Nestle. This is probably going to get me heat. Then I hope he does exactly what you don't want him to do. I want LA Knight to cash in on a mid-card title, and I want that mid-card title to be Gunther's Intercontinental Championship, because if LA Knight were to cash in on the Cody Consolation Prize, what's the difference, right? But at least if he cashes in on the IC title, it's meaningful because he defeats a man who's literally undefeated. And you know what? I want him to do it the very week that Gunther's about to surpass the Honky Tonk Man's record, and I want him to play spoiler, and I want him to rob him of that, and I want the new Intercontinental Champion to be LA Knight, the first man on the main roster to defeat Gunther. It's going to skyrocket him to the moon. Step aside, Cameron Grimes. It's not about you. It's about LA Knight. Yeah! That's my hope.
He had me until the mid-card shit. That is just fucking...
I know you hate that. I know you hate it, but dude,
I mean...
It's meaningful with Gunther. I feel like it's meaningful.
Why would you bother wasting an opportunity like that? The guy's 41 years old. You're going to give him an Intercontinental title run, which he could fucking have anyway. And you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me, Jesus Christ, we're going to have a... Here's my logic. Here's my logic. And this is... Someone fucking tell me I'm wrong. I know somebody's going to tell me. But why would you put your fucking body on the line and get fucking hurt in a ladder match for a fucking mid-card title? Why?
JC agrees with me. Put that up.
He says, I agree, Gunther's a better champion than Seth. He doesn't say that you should cash in.
If you cash in and beat him. Because you become the first guy to defeat the undefeated guy. And then that puts Gunther to the main event, and it skyrockets LA Knight to like a top mid-card guy until maybe he becomes a top guy, but maybe not.
Top mid-card guy? What fucking planet
the top
are you
of the
on?
Middle card, yeah.
Who aspires to be the top of the middle? Are you out of your mind?
I mean, not LA Knight, but you know how creative sees him. Dude, it's a 2011 Zack Ryder situation all over again. He's not going to win a world title. I want him to. He's not going to.
He's closer. He's way closer. Way closer.
He's organically over with the fans. He's not over because WWE wants him to be over. WWE wants Damian Priest to be over. Fuck Damian Priest. No one wants to see him win.
Mind?
No one wants to see Damian Priest win that Money in the Bank.
No, not this year, but he definitely can be a world champion.
Eventually, they need to pull the trigger on LA Knight while he's hot, because don't let the moment pass you by. I'm going to side with JC on this one. They passed Cody by at the moment where they should have pulled the trigger, which was at WrestleMania. They passed it by. They missed their window. Don't miss it with LA Knight.
I can't believe that you actually won a mid-card championship to fucking... I can't.
Get it on my TV.
See, look, Ray agrees with me. Top of the middle. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I don't. So what does it say? Sorry, I'm out of control here. So Gunther you're elevating, not the title. So look, I can't even. I can't. You make my head spin with this. You make my head spin with all of this content. Anyway,
it elevates Gunther and LA Knight simultaneously.
I disagree. Okay, wholeheartedly.
That's fine.
I respect you, but I disagree 100%. I think just the fact that you said top of the middle made me fucking want to vomit. Just because top of the middle makes no goddamn sense. A Pam Canoe. JC's mom's back in. Even if JC's not on. He's not even here.
Check for Guthrie's hope.
No, that's not it. She's just probably got an emoji thing. She probably loves emojis. So here's my hope very quickly. Logan Paul had a great showing on Monday Night Raw. I loved his promo. I loved his back and forth. JC said it. I believe it's going to happen into existence. I think that the hope here is that Logan Paul wins Money in the Bank and cashes in on Roman Reigns. I think that, to me, would make people very upset in a lot of different
crown jewel. He lost.
No. Here's the thing, though. Like, having him he could beat Seth Rollins. He could beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Either man is perfectly fine. But I think you're going to get more people upset if he beats Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Because then you go from one asshole to another part-time asshole. And you're going to be like, fuck. Because to me, here's the thing. In theory, yes, I know that Cody's going to be the guy, most likely, right? But he's like having him cash in on Rollins is fine. That seems to be the more logical standpoint here. Like, I'm trying to book on Planet Flafluga, like, never gonna fucking happen. I'm just taking a fucking shot in the dark here. But having Logan Paul cash in on Roman Reigns would be fucking mind blowing. Because here's the thing: if you're gonna sit there and go, holy shit, he's gonna fucking beat him. He's gonna fucking beat him. And you're gonna have that moment of like, holy shit, he's gonna do it. What the fuck happened to Cody? You're gonna be like sitting there going, oh, they're gonna fuck Cody again. Like, there's so many things you could think about here that would totally just transpire. It would make perfect sense. He's gonna give you that visceral reaction where you're like, holy shit, if he cashes in on Roman Reigns, everything that is being worked for is just null and void. And I just want to see the world burn. And I think having all of these, I just want to see the fans cry. Like, and I think Logan Paul is great. Now, I agree with what Joe said here, is that he's probably cashing in on Rollins. However, I do tend to agree that if you want to go the crazy route, the real crazy route, having him win seems like he's going to be the winner. I think we can all agree he's probably going to be the winner. But having him tease it on his podcast, you see the Money in the Bank briefcase in the background. Having him talk about Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, having him tease it a bunch is fucking incredible. That, to me, that's the money out there, because without him, even if he doesn't win the championship, he cashes in and loses, which could be inevitable as well. He's going to do more with that briefcase than anybody else that's ever held it, in my opinion.
I'm not mad at it. I like Logan Paul. I think he's golden television. His promo last night was awesome. How he was just sitting perched top with the briefcases hanging suspended right above him, you know, talking shit to the Cleveland crowd, even though he's not technically from Cleveland, but just outside of Cleveland. You know, played it off like he's the hometown boy. I mean, him winning, I would not be mad if he won the briefcase. I really wouldn't.
First off, I want to just say this to Joe. Bluey has better storylines than what Nestle's proposing. I don't disagree. Bluey's a fantastic show, and Bluey makes me cry. I'm man enough to say that Bluey has some of the best writing in the world.
Is that a kid show?
It's a kid show, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on Disney Plus. It's amazing. Okay. It's only 8 minutes, and it's made in Australia, and it's fucking awesome. Okay. And Bluey is amazing. I don't
have kids, and I'm too old.
Sure.
To know what Bluey is.
Okay. Well, it's like it's a mass. I'm just saying that Bluey is like, they write for adults, but it's also for kids. Like,
okay, I've just never even heard of it.
It's got a catchy song, and it's just a whole thing. Anyway,
okay,
Bluey, check it out if you're not interested, or if you are. It's 8 minutes of your time. It'll fucking do it. Anyway, comeback, right? We're in a comeback time. Let's do it. What's your comeback?
Well, you go first, because I went first with the hope.
I just forgot my comeback. I'll be honest with you.
Do you want me to go first then?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I'll get some brownie points with this, especially with JC. After all the shit I've talked throughout this entire duration of this podcast.
Yep.
So my comeback goes to a very particular superstar who had a manager not too long ago on Monday Night Raw. And towards the end of the relationship with that manager, the manager looked this particular superstar in the eye and said these words: "You can't polish a turd because I tried." Well, damn it, JBL, I'm here to tell you didn't try hard enough, because Baron Corbin is getting my comeback for not only this week, but for the past several weeks. I feel like the move back down to NXT has been rejuvenating. I feel like it has the utmost potential for him to have a career resurgence in Nestlemania. Baron Corbin's coming off of a huge victory from last Tuesday night against Ilya Dragunov. That's a big win for him. And now, 1 week from today, on week 2 of Gold Rush, he has an even bigger opportunity when he faces Mr. Mr. Carmelo Hayes for the NXT World Heavyweight title. We know he's not going to win, but you know what? I still feel like this opportunity of being back down in NXT and revamping himself has potential to give him that career resurgence. Again, I reiterate. And you know what? I know we all want it. I know Nestle wants it. I know JC wants it. And hell, I want it too. Give it to us. We want a full transformation back to the best gimmick that Corbin has ever done. Give us the Lone Wolf. Get it on my TV. Get it on my TV, damn it. That's my comeback.
I thought you were going to say Constable Corbin, which was a fantastic gimmick, but that's okay.
That was also fantastic.
Very quickly, there's a Bluey chat thing I have to address here. I will say this much: if in a encapsulation you want to know why Bluey's fantastic, just go to YouTube and type in Bluey dance modes. that to me will encompass everything that's fucking amazing about that show. I like that moment in that show makes me cry and laugh at the same time because it's like a dad doing something for his kids that he doesn't want to do, and it's
Is
fucking
Dom
awesome.
alluding to the fact that we're unwatchable because he said I almost shut this down?
I think Dom was saying that we were doing such a good job talking about Bluey
Oh,
that
that
he was
must
going
be
to go
it. That
check it
must be
out.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
yeah. Shake it, chill it. Yeah, that's exactly. He knows what I'm talking about. My favorite part, Joe, was I'm doing this for my kids, and then he just starts dancing. So, but again, heartwarming show. My comeback. I'm wearing the shirt. I haven't talked about it, but
Oh
he
no.
he has come back.
Okay.
He has arrived. I will say this much. CM Punk gets my comeback, not because he's the wrestler, but the fucking promo on Collision to me was fucking that was fucking awesome. It was way too long. I mean,
Was it
eight
a
and a half minutes.
pre-match promo? Was it before the main event?
It
Because
was
I
the
missed it.
first part of the show
First part of the
on,
show. Okay.
on Collision, and he did an 8-minute, 8.5 minute. It was way too long, but he did a great job addressing the situation without addressing the situation, which he's very good at. And he made a couple jokes about counterfeit bucks. I'm the one true buck Phil, or whatever, $1 Phil, or whatever he called himself. And he did a great job being like, I'm sorry. All of you, like, what did he say? I'm sorry. All you are soft. And the only thing that's softer are the wrestlers you like. And I was like, ugh, that's a tough pill to swallow. But he's good at having those zingers. And I was like, I love CM Punk, but I don't love CM Punk. But I
I am
do.
in the same boat.
$1 Phil. Thank you, Dom. I was interested to see what was going to happen. I think they did a great job. And I just thought that Collision specifically for me was a nice change of pace because Dynamite to me has gotten stale. So I think maybe I should give my comeback to fucking AEW doing a great job with Collision.
Okay.
Because I think the show did a great job. I think from top to bottom, and I'll talk about this and anybody else in the chat. I know Guthrie didn't really check it out, but I just wanted to say from beginning to end, I thought just watching just the production value of watching things that they did fantastically with the packages. Like I'm hyped for Scorpio Sky. Like I forgot he fucking existed. Miro did a great job killing Tony Nese. The women's match wasn't that bad. Like all the things that happened. I wasn't a huge fan of Luchasaurus winning the TNT championship, but at least Christian Cage could fucking hold it up. And then of course, to me, Andrade versus Buddy Matthews was fucking insane. Like that was the best match I've seen this week. And Buddy Matthews needs to be highlighted more as a singles wrestler. And we already knew, Andrade was a fucking stud. But the finish of that match, they both used their women's finish. So like he did the Riptide and then Andrade won with the figure 8. And I was like, that's fucking cool. So I think that like just they did a great job. And the presentation felt different too. Like it felt like almost like a sense of urgency. Like we needed this to fucking work. And it transpired to like, oh, like I have to stick around and watch this versus we've talked about this at nauseum about AEW. They have one fucking banger match and then they spread around 6 fucking random shit matches. You're just like, I don't want to fucking watch this. I have to fucking sit through this to watch the one goddamn match I want. This was different.
Do you feel like the ratings on Collision eventually are going to suffer when there's Saturday night PLEs with WWE?
I think that they're going to suffer in general because
Okay.
not just PLEs, but you're going to do college football.
Yep.
There's just so many things, and I think the Austin and JC and Dom and Ray can probably speak to this better than I can because I'm not a degenerate gambler like the three of them. But when you can't gamble on wrestling, then you can't. You know what I mean? Like you're going to gamble on those sports, you're going to watch those sports. So
Right.
I think that's the hardest part is like you can't gamble on wrestling because it's predetermined. So I think that's the hardest part I would think about when it comes to anything Saturday night. And then, no matter how good they do, like I don't even know what the ballpark would be as like a success on a Saturday night because Saturday night everybody's out. So I don't even know like is 600,000 people like successful? I don't know.
Well, you could almost say the same thing about Friday nights since SmackDown doesn't really suffer from ratings, do they?
But I think that's a different thing because like the WWE is its own animal.
Yeah.
And I think like you're not a proven commodity yet, especially on Saturday night. So
I can't really touch base on this because I don't really watch AEW, so I'm just kind of more asking questions. So
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Ray says you can absolutely gamble on wrestling. Okay, well there you go. I just don't know how much you can gamble on wrestling, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go to the big old finish here.
Let's do it.
All right. So anyway, I have to make sure I do this correctly. Just because we're staying with AW because it's a big week. The Hardy Boys are going to take on the Guns on AEW Dynamite. Do you care? I certainly don't.
No, God no.
Okay, moving. God no.
The Hardy Boys
Wait.
are old. Why are they on television?
Because they got to squeeze that lemon as much as possible.
Ugh.
Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr. It'll be cool. I love Orange Cassidy, but does anybody fucking care? I don't know.
I love Orange Cassidy too. I actually watched him a lot on the Indies and Beyond Wrestling in Worcester before he made it to AEW. So very enjoyable.
But again, do you care about this tag match?
No, of course not.
This is what I'm talking about. Chris Statlander, stud, versus Taya Valkyrie, stud. Do I care about this match? They're two baby faces. No, I don't fucking care because there's no fucking lead up to this shit. And if there was, I didn't see it. So they don't do a good enough job. It's hard for me. And then, of course, this is the biggest selling point, apparently, is that they're going to have a concession brawl between Mark Briscoe and is it Mark Briscoe? Whatever. One of the Briscoes. Sorry. Mark Briscoe versus Jeff Jarrett in a concession stand brawl. And if Jeff Jarrett doesn't win, you'll never see him from AEW again. I'm sure a lot of people up there are hoping Jeff Jarrett goes away. I
know JC is. He hates Jeff Jarrett.
Well, Jeff Jarrett should not be off my television because I think he's doing his best work pissing people off. He's great. So now look, Ray saying you guys finally agree on something. Disliking
AEW. There it is.
There's some shine. It only took us 1 hour and 7 minutes almost on the dot for shit to fucking go south. I'm not even going to say the rest of this stuff because I don't give a shit about it. But again, we will go into what I think is a huge weekend. Probably it has the potential. I say potential, knowing full well that it could fucking backfire. That Forbidden Door could be something we talk about for the whole year and potentially could be the best matches of the year. So that's my 2 cents on that. I do have to give predictions. Guthrie, you're welcome to add your predictions. I know you said you're not an AEW guy.
I am not.
So I will put mine in here very quickly.
Yeah,
we're going to start at the bottom here, where it is MJF defending the AEW championship against Tanahashi. And for those that don't know, Tanahashi is their John Cena.
Okay.
He's the guitar riffing guy that does all these fucking amazing things.
So can I ask a real quick question? Because I actually did watch MJF versus Adam Cole Wednesday night on Dynamite, and it ended in a no contest after the 30 minutes, and that was in an eliminator match, right?
Correct.
So what happened with that? Does Cole just not get a title shot, or?
I imagine they're stretching it out to Wembley.
Okay.
Because I think that's what they're banking on. I would assume the more money maker would be Punk versus MJF to me, but I don't know if they're even allowed to do that. Like, I don't know. Is Punk allowed in the same venue as all these people? I don't know. Are they going to have to create more venues? So for me,
he's on timeout.
I would imagine that MJF has to win this matchup because he's MJF, and like they're not going to let Tanahashi, and this is probably something I'm going to get hate on. Tanahashi hasn't been the same Tanahashi in the last 6 years, so I don't necessarily see him as a credible threat to be a world champion anymore.
I'm sad that I'm missing that match right now. I'll catch it later. Dana Brooke and
Cora Jade are having a banger right now. Okay. Well,
very sad I'm missing
We'll check it out. You can always listen, Guthrie. Let me tell you a little secret.
Oh yeah, please go.
Don't watch wrestling live.
I know, but I actually like watching it live.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Entrances and fucking recaps.
Nestle, I'm gonna side with JC on this. I love entrances. I don't
fucking would. You Gardner guys are all the same. You guys love the fucking nonsense shit. Like, I'm telling you right now, if I showed you a fucking entrance from last week versus this week, they all fucking look the same. They all do the fucking same poses unless somebody fucking clubs it on.
It's part of the presentation. If there's no entrances, I don't even want to watch the show.
Let me tell you this much. I have limited amount of time to enjoy myself. Okay, I start watching Monday Night Raw at 9:30 at night.
You have kids, it's different.
But I'm just saying, for me,
I understand.
I get no value. For me, I get no value from an entrance anymore. Now, WrestleMania entrances, fucking Bad Bunny entrance, I'll watch those live
because they make an effort to make
it different. But you're telling me a week-to-week entrance, unless someone's wearing something that I can see on Twitter, which I can, it'll save me time. I am about efficiency. I am an efficient man, Guthrie, and I don't need to watch progressive fucking flow. I
mean, JC, he 32 X's through the 6-man tag, so I mean that has to count. That has to count for something.
No, skip matches, you coward. No, listen, I skip through the rest holds in the matches because rest holds or when they're struggling in a fucking suplex on the top rope, that saves me 30 seconds. I should just show you the guide on how I watch wrestling. You guys would either love it or hate it. There's no in between.
They're building emotional tension in those moments, Nestle.
Oh, yeah? Or they're taking a breather because they're sucking wind. One of the two.
Because they're gassed.
They're gassed to the gills. Moving on, Sonata, who I don't know who Sonata is, the champion of IWGP. To me, not necessarily a name against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I don't give a shit about Jungle Boy. I think he's fucking atrocious besides the fucking he's got nothing past the music. I will pick Sonata because we're not going to have anybody fucking change championships in this fucking thing.
I heard he's a dickhead in real life too, Jack Perry.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
He's a dickhead at signings and everything in between.
Well, there you go. There you have it. From the streets to your ears.
Jungle Asshole is his name.
Jungle Asshole. There you go. And finally, the two matches that I think sell this goddamn pay-per-view. Bryan Danielson taking on Okada. I think everybody knows who Okada is. I would say, to me, I want to pick Okada. I'm going to pick Okada. I'm going to pick Okada because I feel like he's the Rainmaker, right? He's the fucking main. What are you saying, Jesus Christ? Because I said something about Sonata there, buddy?
Dom should have came into the pod for this segment specifically.
Here's the thing. I love Dom. He
watches everything, though.
He watches everything. I love Dom. But here's the thing. You got to pump the brakes. Because if I didn't invite Conway, I'd hear about it. I'd get a fucking ass chewing. So I love my boy Dom. But if I didn't invite Conway, this guy would have lost his shit on me. And finally, Kenny Omega taking on Will Ospreay. Here's what I think happens, Big Guth.
Yep.
Will Ospreay beats Kenny Omega for the very first time ever with the help of Taka? What's his name? I just thought I fucking lost his name.
Dude, I can't help you out with that one.
The guy, that fucking Takeshita. Takeshita.
Yeah.
And the human thumb, Don Callis, are going to distract him in somehow, some way. Big Billy Goat's going to fucking finally win. We're going to talk about that later. Oh boy, here we go. I'm going to get in trouble by Dom. So I'm going to pick Big Willie style, finally getting his big Ospreay win. So that's what I'm going to say there. That's all they have right now. But in the words of TJ, there's 4 matches. They're going to do like probably 15 fucking more between now and Sunday
AEW
night.
always does. It drives me nuts.
But Takeshita has to be a big deal, and I think they're going to make him fucking cost him. So, here we go.
Tony, there it is. I'm over with somebody. There it is. Is he just tuning in now? That's the only reason I'm over, because he missed the whole podcast.
Yeah, he missed the whole podcast. Here's the thing. Tony called me and legitimately said to me, I was screaming for 30 minutes of what Josh said last week. He was wrong about everything. So if Tony ever gets a shot to go against Josh, he's going to have a browbeaten for JC. Don't you worry.
Get him on the pod, dude.
He just got out of work, he said. So that's why he's watching. So,
okay.
But that's pretty much everything. I don't have everything up for NXT that's happening right now. We're not going to go over that. I think we hit the highlights here, and we've talked for a very long time. What did it say right here? Joe said, Guthrie, despite your absolutely atrocious showing, hell of a job, sir. Hell of a job.
Thanks for sort of putting me over. I do appreciate it.
He is the master of the backhand compliment, except for me. Then he's just slapping me. He doesn't give me any compliment.
That was Joe Stopper?
That is Backcracker Joe, the doc.
Oh, okay.
No, the Joe Stopper had to leave because he's an old man who needs to go to sleep.
The grammar troll.
Yes. The one and only.
Yes.
All right. So on that note, we've talked way too fucking long. Would you like to say anything else before we head out?
Dude, I think I'm good. Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, Guthrie, thank you for subbing in. I'm sure I'm going to get a handful of comments and an earful from JC next week about everything.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks for being a part of this. And again, thank you for listening to the Jobber Knocker, and we'll be back next week with more Jobber Knockery.
Peace.